So when was the last time you got excited to see a January opening weekend release in theaters? Well, besides Paddington 2's stateside debut, of course. Because as we're merrily ringing in the new year, it seems like Hollywood's output gets stuck in the marmalade. In fact, film prospects are so low at the beginning of the year, the industry even has a name for it. But why exactly is January considered a dump month? And more importantly, can anyone fix it?
We just want to hear that you're confident that we can get the hit machine pumping.
Well, absolutely.
Referred to as dump months by Hollywood execs and frustrated audiences alike, January, February, August, and September are the lowest points on the box office calendar. But while the summer slog is certainly felt by sun-baked filmgoers, January is easily the worst offender. Lacking any hype, the films released during January are either low-budget affairs without much star power, or overly expensive mishaps that the studios have already deemed as duds. And since January is seen as the dumpiest dump month of all, the issue becomes one of quantity and quality. Not enough new films is bad enough, but when those spare pickings are barely even watchable, winter suddenly becomes a lot less wondrous.
So now what do? You make a Jenga movie?
No, you take the meeting and then you don't make the movie and you focus on making an actual good movie.
Oh my God, this is so depressing.
Occasionally, studios might deem a brilliant film too bizarre or risky for a big summer movie run, as was the case with the now cult classic From Dusk Till Dawn. But usually, January titles are sent to the gallows for a good reason.
I can sniff defeat like a truffled pig.
Just like Robert Downey Jr.'s Doolittle, dump month films have often been slammed into the snow after several rounds of disastrous screen tests.
It's too long. You gotta be Delulu if you think people are gonna watch that. It's gonna make my job impossible because it's gonna destroy word of mouth.
While Hollywood adheres to its own Farmer's Almanac to foresee the future of films, Hollywood turned January into a graveyard. Nowadays, January is as bad as it gets for a new release's chance of success. In fact, the domestic box office for January of 2025 amounted to nearly $500 million less than the month of December.
I'm sorry I ruined your New Year's Eve party, Lieutenant Dan. She tastes like cigarettes.
But what makes January worse than any other month? Most obviously, dump months are a byproduct of the weather. Though nobody loves going out in the dog days of the summer, even a hot August night might be saved by some theater-strength AC. And while we all detest traveling through the heat, driving through winter weather is literally hazardous for your health. Plus, once kids return to school from their holiday breaks, there's far less reason to drag them out in the cold. And because many children have just been spoiled rotten by Santa, parents often choose to save their disposable income. Though some children's films such as 2025's Dog Man achieved late-month success, studios historically tend to hold back their kid-friendly releases for brighter days. Just as families begin to recoup from the cost of their holiday lists, another major American event touches down to take all their money.
We will be spending this Sunday evening at our neighbor Sean's superb owl party.
Even though admission to the Super Bowl only requires a television, those party favors and buffalo dips get pricey. And when filmgoers have another climactic spectacle in store, they're just less willing to pony up for movie tickets. But in terms of bad reps, January has another serious setback to contend with, because when it comes to award season, bringing home the gold takes precedence over everything else.
I give a shit. I give a ginormous shit.
You keep saying how silly it is.
I'm pretending. I'm already rich, I'm already famous, winning awards is like the only thing that's left.
Due to the December 31st cutoff for Oscar award nominees, studios rushed to release their buzziest films before January. With a required consecutive 7-day theatrical run on at least one movie screen in LA County, the Academy Awards might not be asking for much up front, but because Oscar-worthy movies need to expand to more screens and smaller markets to drum up awards hype, they sometimes end up with a dreaded January re-release. It's a marvel that The King's Speech and our beloved Paddington sequel achieved high viewership despite a dump month re-release. Because once the studios get into campaign mode, there is rarely anything else on Hollywood's mind leading up to the ceremony. There have been exceptions to the rule. While Silence of the Lambs and Get Out seem like the risky, subversive types of films suited for a winter schedule, these eventual Oscar winners aren't actually January films at all. Used as a limited release window, some films debut briefly in January, only to see a wider release the following month. Cloverfield, with its low-budget thrills and one exceptionally edited trailer, was able to fully flip the script on dump month. But when it comes to the biggest January box office debut, one unlikely threequel reigns supreme.
Bad Boys. One last time.
Sweeping monthly totals by millions of dollars, Bad Boys for Life did the impossible by becoming a Super Bowl season success. So if the studios are clearly capable of quality releases in every season, why not utilize January as a release date more often? To answer that question, look no further than February. As something of a hotbed for action and horror movies, the second month of the year has become the unlikely source of several genre hits. Just in the last few years, February releases have included Captain America: Brave New World, The Monkey, and even Tenet. While the critical and financial success of these films varies, there is no question that the quality and quantity of new releases improves post-January. Specifically, Valentine's Day has turned into a tentpole for original films of all varieties. Romance flicks, practically a relic in our streaming era, always seem to find a way back into our hearts come February. But oddly enough, there seem to be just as many horror movies conquering Cupid's Holiday. From the Wolfman remake to the on-the-nose arrival of Hard Eyes, B-grade horror lives on among lovers looking to cling to each other. A home for genre films both great and terrible, February shows no sign of slowing down. In 2026, Scream 7, Crime 101, and even a new entry in the Strangers franchise are all set for release.
Hello, Sydney. Did you miss me?
Compared to the shockingly bad forecast for January, the difference is staggering. With the very tardy return to Silent Hill in store, this January is par for the course. Maybe hoping for some Bad Boys-style redemption, the studios even decided to drop an ill-advised Greenland sequel during Dump Month. While middling action films have gotten a boost in January of years past, it's unlikely that Greenland 2 will move the needle past the modest popularity of its predecessor. But sometimes, even the absolute worst movies crush it in January. Take, for example, The Devil Inside, infamous among critics and horror fans. This 2012 found footage film was unanimously panned, but because January audiences were so starved for anything remotely interesting, The Devil Inside raked in over $100 million in profit on a shoestring budget.
Father, commands you! Oh, you can't get back in your God's good graces, priest. Not after what you did.
So where do we go from here? How could anyone fix a system that is essentially designed to be broken? Perhaps the solution lies in streaming. As theatrical windows grow shorter and streamers start gaining Academy Awards, why not meet that consecutive screening requirement in January? Though Netflix has been reluctant to afford theatrical releases for their original films, January is the perfect opportunity to switch things up. Low stakes and a potential for high rewards, an entire month to air out award contenders, or even an unruly genre film. Just imagine what a K-pop Demon Hunter sing-along screening could accomplish in January. While the likelihood of a better dump month seems low, there's a unique charm to January films. Whether you're going blind to a new genre flick or just taking a chance on some half-baked sequel, January still feels like the Wild West of cinema experiences. Though it can be tough to wait out the summer blockbusters, we can still cleanse our palates with a few cheap thrills. And with the mysteries and horrors of February just around the corner, maybe dump month doesn't look so bad after all. And that's it for this week's episode. So tell us, what was the worst January film you had the misfortune to see? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, be sure to hit like and subscribe to keep up with all our Nerdstalgic videos.